Welcome back to A Vault a Day build phase. I believe this is the start of episode 6, and this is actually a little bit earlier than I intended to start recording for this episode, but I figured I'd start chipping away at the stuff that I need to do for this particular week, and I know that for our quests, we have a couple of blocks that we need to make, the Vault Forge and the Recycling Table, that both require netherite ingots. At least I'm pretty sure that's what that stuff is called. And so I decided I'd go looking for ancient debris, and I managed to find 5 of them. And that's currently smelting up right now, but that's also not why I started. Granted, one of the reasons I started is that my multi-tool is just about out of durability. And so in order to restore it, I'm basically going to have to get a repair core, which involves painite gems, I think, and I need like 12 more. Actually, I think it might just be 10 more because I still have 2 left in order to make just a single repair core to get this thing back up to full durability. And so I'm going to need to be extremely sparing with this tool. I don't know if it breaks at 0 durability when it still has a repair charge left, but I kind of also don't want to chance it until I have the opportunity to look it up. And now for the real thing that we're here for, I have 2 extraordinary, I don't know how to pronounce that, benitoid? Benitoit? Note to future self, look up how to pronounce that, and if I've got it right, thank you. Here's the space where I'm going to pronounce it in the future. Benitoid. Thank you, future self. Now we're going to make a knowledge gem. We're actually going to make 2 knowledge gems, and that means we can finally get into modding, and that is why I elected to stop what I was doing. I was just watching some more Enterprise and start recording because knowledge stars. And, oh, I didn't even realize there was a quest for that, but oh yeah, I just didn't scroll down far enough. What's the reward? A mod box. Okay, now the thing is, it uses a random item from your unlocked mods, so what I want to do is consume these knowledge points and then immediately spend them. Now you'll also notice that I have some skill points, but I'm saving, because at this point, some of the skills and attributes that I want to unlock are more than just 1, so I'm going to have to think about that, but let's take a look real quick through the research. Interesting, I don't think I'm quite there just yet. Junk management would be really good, theoretically, as would double pouches, but the thing that we're interested in is... Where are we? I'm looking for Cagerium, please. Here we are, Cagerium. 1 box solution for mob farming, passive, aggressive, and boss mobs. Now, can be configured. Oh, can be configured with a mob egg. That's what I have. Let me just look up real quick how the differences between Cagerium versus eye spawners are, because we have 2 hostile mob eggs at the moment, and I don't want to accidentally unlock one. Oh, well, I can't even unlock these just yet because we need 1 more mod point. That kind of sucks. Oh, and botany pots are really expensive too, so I might just need to keep saving, and that's kind of unfortunate. But we could unlock the easy villagers right now. The problem is, you see these costs here? I don't know exactly what the thresholds are, but for each mod that you unlock, subsequent mods in that category become more expensive, and I think, I could be daft, but I think that means that when I hit 12 in this category, then the cost increases? No, that doesn't make any sense either, because then I would have to unlock a number of very expensive mods to do that. Anyway, I might hold off on my mob selection. It'll just annoy me that we have the 2 unspent knowledge points in the upper right-hand corner. If anybody happens to know if there's like a setting for that we can just temporarily disable that notification, then that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm gonna get back to watching Enterprise and, you know, just continuing on with the tasks at hand. Okay, so I have a few updates here. We managed to complete these 3 devices, the Vault Recycler, in which you can place Vault gear. I've been talking about this for quite a while, and you can see that oh, well, okay, I haven't done this one yet, but actually, that gives us a good thing. We can just test this out. If we put this in the recycler, we get out, you know, a random focus, potentially. This isn't guaranteed, but it's one of the things that can pop out. Vault scrap, and the most important, and I didn't realize this, netherite scrap. So immediately after I made the netherite that I needed to make the recycler, I started putting stuff in here, and I was like, oh, I wonder if one of the quest rewards was netherite scrap. And it might have been, but it turns out that I was definitely getting some from the faceted focus. And the other thing that we need to do, and it's a good thing that we have this, is we need to be able to re-roll stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, I kind of wish I'd done this on higher gear. I kind of already liquidated the entire shulker on the bottom, which I think had the better stuff. We also have the Vault Forge, which we can use to forge stuff at a random level, I think. It starts off at the basic, though, but it looks like by increasing very specific ones, we can increase the rarity by forging stuff. So if I had free gold, and if I had free vault alloys, then I could just keep spamming this stuff and basically increase the stats. And I'm guessing we also have trinkets down here that we can unlock later. But finally, the last quest that we need to do is entirely reforge something, and so I'm just going to put this in here, and what is it? Oh, we need vault plating and bronze. Okay, so I might need to pilfer some of my own bronze from somewhere else. But I know we have plating. That's not this, is it? Yes, it is this. Alright, so we can take all of this stuff and shove it into here. And I'm going to steal some of it from this tool thingy thing, the smithing station, and put it in here, and now we should be able to reforge all prefixes and suffixes, completing a quest for us. Now, these are still not that great because it's level 11 compared to an epic thing, but you can see that all of the modifiers have been reforged before and after, and I'm immediately going to shove it in the recycler again. So that is how all that stuff works. That allowed us to complete a whole bunch of quests, and you can see also, I think we're on choosing your own objective. I don't know if I have any blank seals already. I could have sworn I did, but we have a couple more things to work on. The alchemy table, the jewel cutter, which I'm not going to do right now, I don't think, and a soul diffuser. And that's pretty much everything. It turns out that I had enough painite or whatever it was that I was looking for in ore form. I'd just kind of forgotten about that because I didn't have the jewels themselves. So we were able to repair our multi-tool. Now, since this clip, I discovered that if a chromatic tool hits 0 durability, as long as it has repair charges left, you can still use a repair core on it. I just happened to use this one a little bit prematurely out of caution, and I must have just looked at some old information on Reddit as opposed to, you know, experimenting and figuring things out. But that's my fault for not realizing that it's old information. Anyway, back to the video. Once we hit level 20, we will have access to chromatic steel tools, and I don't think I'm itching to reforge just yet because this one has a lot of really good jewels on it, and we haven't gotten replacements just yet, but also I should be able to start forging random jewels that might be better. Anyway, that's the current update, and because the time is about to tick over to midnight, I can, technically speaking, do the next Vault of the Day. So that's what's next on my plate. So one last thing, I looked up how the notation works with this, you know, +0, +12 thing going on. +12 is the cost that is added every time you research a mod in this category. So that means that once I unlock a Cagerium, Botany Pots is going to become 16, in theory. So that means that the stuff that I want to unlock is going to be very expensive very fast. And as much as I really want to be getting easy villagers really quickly, I still think Kagerium is the way to go right off the bat, because I don't mind traveling for villagers. I do mind potentially having to actively farm for mobs, but that means that I'm going to have to get a whole lot of knowledge points, and that's going to suck, but we're still going to do it. And with that, on to the next section, whatever it may be. Okay, so you can see since the last time I started recording, we have a bunch more structure for the trolley depot, and I've been experimenting with a couple of block pallets, so it's going to be much like the rest of the structures in this island and or the village. It's going to be kind of log cabin based, I think, at least insofar as the wooden parts of the structures are going to go. And so we've got a couple of pallets that we can decide from. I've currently put together acacia and walnut that I think looks really good, but I'm probably not going to use it right here because the stripped walnut looks too close to the slabs, and that'll just cause it to sort of blend into the bridge potentially. But then we also have stripped jungle log and stripped oak log that I think look really good next to each other. Might even throw a little bit of stripped birch into that mix. And you can also see that we've got some blossom trees growing, and they are freaking massive, which is why you don't want this before you get vein mining, I swear. But that stripped is going to resemble something in this general vein of color, so we can also add that to that potential gradient. And naturally, you know, we're not even using dark oak and spruce, because we're using spruce just here as the structural support. So I tested it, and it just looks like it blends a little too much in. It sort of makes the cabin lose distinctness. So those are some block palettes that I'm considering. And now, well, what I was going to do this episode is I was going to build the trolley itself in creative mode, just so I could make sure the dimensions here looked correct, and sort of get an idea for how tall this building needs to be, if it needs to go out more that way, if it needs to be longer that way, and, well, unfortunately, the contents of today's vault necessitate that I do something else, and we're going to see why after the jump. Now that we're back down at the bottom, you can see that I need 3 moss blocks, which isn't terrible. I can get that pretty trivially once I find my moss again. All I have to do is find it, put it in some rock that I don't care about, and just bone meal the heck out of it, and it'll just spread, and I'll just get more moss. That's pretty rad. That's how moss works. We also have 38 copper, and I'm reasonably sure that I've dug up just a ton of copper, or at the very least I know where I can get some, so that's not a terrible thing. 8 bamboo, we already have a whole bunch from when we went on our excursion. I really need to start planting some more of that stuff, just in case we run out. And then the menace. 2. Just 2 honeycomb. Because unfortunately, although I have honeycomb blocks from the vault, like I took them out as a decorative element, the only way to get honeycomb from honeycomb blocks is from thermal. And I don't have that unlocked yet, and I won't have that unlocked for quite some time because of the increasing mod requirements as we unlock mods, etc., etc. And so that means that I need to go on the quest for bees. Now, thankfully, I have been reading the wiki, and it basically says that all I need to do is find a meadow biome. And it's actually fairly close if I'm reading this right. I just need to go in this general direction. Interesting. Well, so that theoretically indicates that if I head in this direction and I hit the meadow biome correctly, then all I need to do is bring a couple of oak saplings or something like that, and it says that trees that naturally generate have a 100% chance of spawning in with a bee's nest. And so that means that all I need to do is bring a couple of campfires with me, use a tool that has Silk Touch, and that is why I've upgraded, because before, you may recall, I had an axe, and that had Fortune 3 on it, I think, and I also had a shovel that had Silk Touch on it. And the thing is, once I discovered that paxels are a thing just by adding the correct jewels to your tools, then, there's no real point to having 2 separate tools. You just make 2 paxels, one with your Fortune on it and one with your Silk Touch on it, and then all of a sudden you're just goated. You can just go anywhere, do virtually anything with two tools, and that's it. That's the game. You just carry these two tools around with you as long as they have durability and or repair slots, and you're golden. So I made this Chromatic Steel Paxel. It is our first Chromatic Steel tool, which brings me to the fact that you unlock Chromatic Steel tools at level 20. And so that means that we have a lot of stuff we can do. We have some unspent skill points, expertise points, and knowledge points. And the knowledge points are the things I'm focusing on, because you'll see I have a knowledge star in my inventory already. And we also get one from hitting Vault level 20. And therefore, we now have 4 knowledge points, which brings us to well more than enough to unlock Cagerium. And so, because we have 3 hostile spawn eggs for Cagerium, we are going to go ahead and unlock that sauce. And that is our first that is our first mod of the game, officially. And now I need to see what else I can buy for 1 point, because I think it would be a good idea. We can get into double pouches, and I think I should get into double pouches. And so we will get into double pouches. Either that or stack upgrading. Now you'll notice here that it has a +2 on it, so that means that the cost is going to go up to 3, or whatever I don't buy now is going to go up to 3. We do eventually need to get the Soul Harvester and the Junk Management Systems. But let's also check, oh my god, yeah, it really is that expensive. Jeez. So I think the next mod I go for, it's a split between Botany Pots and Easy Villagers, and because the fact that we're going to need emeralds, and I don't want to completely demolish that emerald biome, I think the next thing that we go for is Easy Villagers, which means that Botany Pots is going to be a whopping 28 points, which is gross, and then after that we'll more or less, technically speaking, be locked out of this because I'll want to prioritize other stuff. The big mods also have as steep an entry point, but I think what we're going to do is prioritize Create, because I want a dang elevator first, then Botania. Well, Create for sure first, then either Botania or Thermal Expansion, and then whichever one I don't pick is going to be the third one, and then Mechanism is going to be last, and that's because I'm the least familiar with it, but also because, yeah, sure, it has the ore, multiplication thing. Thermal has some of that. Mechanism does it the best, but I'm also least familiar with it, and I kind of want to just save it for the end for simplicity's sake. And by the time that I get up to such massive costs, I'm hoping that I'm able to automatically produce a lot of stuff anyway. And so we'll be running vaults fairly frequently, or at the very least have the ability to get knowledge stars fairly quickly. So that's my plan for the mods. I still need to decide on this, though. I think it's either going to be stack upgrading or double pouches. And because I seldom get into a situation where I need to upgrade well, no, because I don't know at what point I start to void things, and that's kind of important. So this will let me hold stuff that I've already sorted, or it'll let me hold more of what I've already sorted and locked into my pouch. This will let me double the amount of space in the pouch, so I can hold other stuff in the pouch. So really, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I think I want to do the stack upgrading first. Alright. So we'll worry about that. I already have the Nature's Compass in my inventory. It's already locked to the meadow that I need to go find. Let me just put away some stuff. And I think that's it. I think I just need to grab my things on the way out, and then I'm on my way. And I might also set up Cagerium on, some point during this episode. But my main priority is getting the bees for the honeycomb. And so, because this is relatively close, I think I'm going to just head over there and see how easy it is to get that stuff. And, well, I'm going to cut to that, but I'm not going to cut the session, just the episode. So I will catch you guys after the break. I'm going to take the long way through time. And I know at some point in time I saw a beehive in my adventures, and I just don't remember where. And worse, I'm pretty sure I cut that from my video, so you guys aren't even going to know, and I would have to inspect the raw footage, and I don't want to have to do that. So we're stuck waiting here until the night is done. I could have just brought a bed. I should have just brought a bed. I didn't just bring a bed. Didn't think I'd really need one. Thought it was going to be faster than this. 100%, the wiki said. I'm guessing it just means purely natural generation, and the problem with that is that no real trees generated in this particular biome. Yes, we have a Shibe now! We have 2 Shibes now! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Where's the third one? Is there still a third one? Yes, there is. Third Shibe over there. Skeleman in armor over there. Come on, that's right. Hit me. My Shibes will go after you. Probably. Maybe. Oh. You're not at all like wolves. No! Did I hit Shibe? Oh my god, I hit Shibe for a lot. Sheesh. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out how to heal Shibe. What are you... Oh no, that's just your health bar. Oh my god, that's your health bar. Oh my god. Okay, can I can feed you rotten flesh? Not only that, but giving you rotten flesh makes you breed? Huh. Okay, now I have 3 Shibe. All I have to say is, Yorokonde. Thank you, Shibe. I have no idea what these dogs are good for. I mean, in-game. In real life, Shibe are adorable. High energy, but adorable. And so, the fact that they're not attacking like wolves would means they have slightly less utility, or it makes me question their utility, I should say. No, my Shibe! Okay, on the plus side, I don't think any of them have died yet. Okay, now at this point, because I have so many Shibe, I think I'm going to try to stay away from mobs, because I'm just going to end up hurting them more than I'm going to do anything to the mobs. Yes! Okay, I knew there was a flesh drop somewhere here. So I can totally keep breeding Shibes if I want. And I mean, yes. Yes, I want. Look at these. How can you not want the Shibe? We're going to have a veritable army of these dogs by the end of the game. Like I said, I don't even know what they do, if anything. They're just adorable. And now they're my pack. And I think I'm just getting really unlucky with these trees, dang it. Go to meadows, they said. Bees have 100% spawn rate, they said. Maybe I just need to find another meadow, but that's just such a pain in the butt. I think maybe I could also try checking over in this direction, because if we are in fact this close to where I think we are, then that might be where I saw my first set of bees. Aha! I was right! I knew it! Okay, that is great. So, we can just break this block. We can then put... Where's my campfire? Ah, there it is. We can put the campfire directly underneath the beehive. And then, because it has honey in it, the thing that we need... I really hope this works. It does! It does! And we got exactly how much honeycomb we needed. But now, because there are 3 bees inside of it, I'm going to break this with my Silk Touch Paxil. Yes! Yes! And now we've got the fire back. We also have our first bee nest. And that means we are in busyness. And theoretically, it also has the maximum of 3 bees inside of it, so that's going to be a great starting point. And now we're just going to go back to our mega operation back over in the meadow biome because I don't want to wait. And the thing is, I don't think now that I have that bee's nest, and I know that I have the maximum of 3 bees, I am not going to keep planting the oak trees. I am just going to chop them down as they appear. And at the very least, we won't have wasted our efforts at all. We'll just have a bunch of oak that we can use during our build phase. And then maybe I can spend the rest of the video doing the other thing that I wanted to get into now that our plans have totally derailed. Trolley jokes. Which is finally getting into Cagerium. Because as I noted, I don't remember if it was in one of the earlier parts of this build phase, or if it was specifically within one of the vault phases. But we have the hostile mob eggs of a zombie, a skeleton, and cave spiders, which, insofar as I'm aware, are pretty much going to be the 3 most major hostile mob drops that I'm going to need for crystal making. And because of that, we're going to be more or less set for life. The following segment contains accidental violence towards dogs and bees that may be upsetting to some people. You are encouraged to skip to the timestamp listed on screen using the chapter's functionality if this affects you. Now, it just occurred to me, oh no, we did save some of the bones. Good on me, because all I need are 3 moss blocks in order to get into this particular vault. But unfortunately, all I have are exactly 3 moss blocks. So I want to expand that before we do anything. And I think I might take the opportunity to do that now, just because we clearly have a good place in here that I can kind of just do that in. Like, sure, I'm expanding this cave out a little bit more, but that's fine. Oh, I'm going to kill both of you. No, Shibe! Please tell me you didn't die. Shibe, why are you not defending me? No! No! My herd. My herd of Shibes. This is the worst moment. Okay, I now have a much worse moment than before. I'm just dying on the inside, you guys. My Shibes. My Shibes. I mean, I still have 2 left, so I guess we can potentially breed them up as long as they don't die again, you know? That'd be great. I had like 8. And they all just walked into the line of fire. I knew I should have set them down. You know what? I'm just not used to owning pets in Minecraft. Oh, and yeah, now we get more bees. Of course we do. I had so much of a good thing. I was ready to love every single one of those dogs, and it just didn't occur to me. Just sit them down. Go into the cave, I said. It's not going to be a problem, I said. There's just a zombie and a skeleton in there, I said. And then my AoEs killed them. I can't even. Heck, you know what? I don't deserve retribution. I don't deserve to use it. That is the #1 thing that killed my dogs. It was me. I'm the monster. I don't deserve you pups. At this point, I'm just wondering how can I possibly mess up the bees? Because I'm sure I can do it. I swear I'm much better with dogs in real life. For one thing, I don't have magic or swords. It's real easy not to accidentally kill your dog if you just don't have, you know, swords. Okay, we're gonna get our... No! What? Oh, I didn't do the silk touch like a goober. I'm such an idiot. Alright, well, unfortunately, that's Bee Massacre now. I'm sorry, little bee. I'm so sorry. I'm just the worst. I should not have animals in Minecraft. I'm once again devastated. But on the plus side, at least I remember to use Silk Touch on the fire. And I mean, okay, I guess we also still have 2 full hives, each of which has more bees that can breed. And we can make 2 full, you know, beehives, whatever. This feels so bad. I feel so bad. Why am I like this? If I could just go back in time, 30 seconds. Wait, there's another bee? Where? Yo, where? Oh, okay, it's just the one that had yet to die. Well, on that very depressing note, I think I'm going home. I'm going home. I can't deal with more bee murder. Now, I think what I want to do is, the thing is, this is kind of in sort of a mountainous region in and of itself. So I think where I ultimately want my bees and animals and stuff to end up is going to be on the south side of this, because I am above the equator, if I'm reading this correctly. Yeah, heading south goes towards the 0 axis, or the 0 on the axis, and therefore that means I'm theoretically north of the equator. And so that means the most sun in this area is going to be to the south side, and then because we're far enough away from these mountains, like, I mean, yeah, we're still going to get reduced sunlight, technically speaking, from a realism standpoint, but from, you know, a fun lore standpoint or whatever, there we go. I just want to break a whole bunch of this so I can get an idea for where I want to put stuff. Because eventually, I want to put, I guess, my bees and my animals in the same general region of the base. And so what I'm thinking of doing is kind of like a greenhouse-looking thing. And I'm going to explain that because, you know, we're in the middle of a very cold biome or whatever, that the construction of the glass roof on the exterior portion is what helps keep it warm and, you know, off the snow or whatever. And then, or, you know, and also supports bees and flowers and plants and stuff. So I think we're going to do something like an exterior part, like right here, just in a box, and then part of it will go into the side of the island just a little bit, and that's going to be like your barn/manger kind of area. And so that way, the bees, I think the bees are going to go kind of right around. Heck, let's just say right about, let's just say right about here, I suppose, to start with. And this is not the best place, I suppose. Hold on, I gotta pick that dirt back up, because I didn't mean to break everything just there. Okay, I meant to do that. And what I want to do is make more campfires, because I think bees can still leave and do their normal routines with campfires underneath the hives. Oh, and these actually have facings. Okay, so before I do that, I want to break the campfire. Cycle these out until I get to my campfire. There we go. Then I want to put this here. And not only do I want to rotate this, wait, do this correctly, use the silk touch, you donut. There we go. I was about to make the same exact mistake. Woo! I was not expecting them to immediately fly out that time, but they did, so this is fine. I think what I want to do is space them out so that then we put another one. Oh, right. There we go. So we put the next one here. And then we put the next one. I'm just going to use snow for now. No, not like that. Ugh. Okay, I'll temporarily use that then. And where is my... Oh, it's still in there. Great. There we go. So then we put our last hive like that, for now. And there's a very good chance that I end up just relocating these, but that's generally where we're going to have our lovely sort of animal area. And I plan on using some of that ore crystal thing that we found in the Nether a while ago as part of the roof. And that will help explain, oh yeah, this isn't just any glass, this is magical nether glass crystal stuff that's helping to amplify the sun's rays and keep everything just a nice, comfortable level in this cold, frosty biome. So, just a bit of an update. I had to come back up here for the daily vault run on August 29th to grab a poison patat, as you can see in my inventory. And we also have done some building. While I was watching some Enterprise, I just wanted to veg last night, I made a nice little house for the bees that I brought back, and now I have a whole bunch more bees. So this is going to be sort of a combination of things. Let's start at the top, just because we're already here. I've got a little bit of farmland up here, not sure how I feel about it just yet, so this might become like a legitimate roof at some point in time. But what I have going on is this is going to be a combined building for a lot of my cagarium stuff, I think. So up top, of course, we have the bees. These are just going to be as they are. There's going to be... Actually, I'm going to knock this wall down for stuff that I'm going to describe later, but there's going to be a door up here. There is also going to be a door down here on potentially either side. Either that or I'm going to end up knocking this wall out too. And then, basically, down here we're going to have a stable, so I'm going to move some of the animals from outside down here, and we're going to have a fair amount of space for them to graze inside, and this is going to be sort of a greenhouse type thing going on. We're going to try to go for a lot of that red and yellow, which is not what you want in an actual greenhouse, I don't think, because that would, you know, filter out the wrong wavelengths of light, but who cares? We have lore. So I think we'll probably have like sort of a stained glass roof type thing going on here with those cool blocks that we found in the Nether. For one thing, they provide a light source, so that'll help light up some of the snow accumulation that we've got going on up top. But then we're also going to decorate this a lot more. We're going to throw in some more flowers, and we're going to also... I've got like flowering azalea leaves that I think I can, you know, just sort of drape in and make sort of vines and put in some bushes, and this is going to be like just a proper greenhouse, I'd like to think. And then, I haven't dug this out just yet, but then this bottom layer, I'm probably going to use like deep slate or blackstone on, you know, like this foundational part. And we are going to have like sort of a basement area where all the cages for the cagarium are going to be, for the hostile mobs specifically. And then... like hidden somewhere within the core of the island, I intend for all of this to link up into a storage room, and so we'll probably have like a separate storage building at some point in time with access to that, but we don't have that infrastructure yet, so I'm not even worried about it. I'll figure it out when I get there. Now on this side of the building, I had the idea after I logged off last night that what I'm going to do is sort of bring this around like at least another half a circle, maybe even, I mean, a quarter circle at the very least, potentially a full semicircle, and then I'm going to extend the greenhouse at least on this level, potentially down here as well, although this might only go for a quarter and this might go the full half. I'm rambling. But the point is, we're going to extend this out around a little bit, because I realized this isn't as grand as I wanted it to be, and we can have just a lot more biodiversity in here if I just make it a little bit bigger, and I think I can do that way. But then, when I extend this part around, like a semicircle, then I'm also going to have like a tower in the center and just like another sort of dome above it or whatever, and then we can have like an aviary or something like that, and potentially even chuck in a windmill at the top of this tower. It's going to be like just a short tower. Well, now that I've said windmill, it might end up being, instead of just 10 to 15 blocks, it might be like 20 to 25 blocks tall, and You know, I'm just spitballing ideas here, but the gist is, you know, we're just going to extend this around a little bit more, make it a little bit bigger, and give more space for the bees, give more space for the animals, and I think that's going to look really good when we get there. So now I'm going to pop down and do the daily vault run, and I'll come back when I've got more progress on this and Cagerium. So unfortunately, that's just about all the time I have for this week's episode of the build phase. I wanted to get into Cagerium a little bit, but when I looked at the requirements, let's take a look real quick. Cagerium. For hostile mob cages, we need this ominous skull. And that means that I need to go get a wither skeleton skull, and I also need extraordinary Larimar. That's actually easy, comparatively speaking. But then we also need this Wutotic mass, and that's just a little bit harder, but again, I don't really want to be looking for wither skeleton skulls this late in the week, so that's probably a next week problem. I am pretty sure I saw a couple of fortresses on the map in the Nether, so at the very least we have some good goals for then. And we also have fortune on our sword, of course, not fortune, looting on our sword, so those heads should come about pretty fast. Now let's just take a look at what progress I have so far on the shared aviary, apiary, greenhouse, pasture, like indoor pasture, like just the multi-purpose building that we have going on so far. And I keep forgetting that I have access to free cam, so let's go ahead and use that sauce. And you can see that I've done just a little bit more of the framework, and I'm not terribly pleased with how this shape of the roof is going so far. What I was kind of hoping is that we'd have like sort of a gradual dome-like thing here, and then just like a little bit of extra bulge on top, and then I'd put a couple of dark oak fences here, and maybe even like a lightning rod at the very top. Not that I think snowy biomes can get lightning. I mean, I've heard thunder, but I think that only happens in biomes where it rains. Anyway. So the point is, I'm not entirely satisfied with this shape up at the top just here, but that's something that I can smooth out and refine. I've also decided that I think I am, in fact, just going to make the glass white stained glass instead of trying to do anything fancy with the roof in particular here, because this isn't actually my house. However, you'll also see that I've got this structure here that's sort of overlapping with where the aviary part is theoretically going to be. And so this is actually going to be the part that sort of links up with the house. We're going to have a spiral staircase up to a roundabout here, and then I'll probably flatten out some of this. I don't think I'm going to do the whole mountain, but then we'll just have like a log cabin, and I'm going for like a slightly bougie log cabin, I think. I haven't entirely decided exactly how fancy I want it to be, but I've already committed to this being a spiral staircase and there being like a chandelier up at the top, so maybe it's going to be just a little bit fancy. And the fact that we also have, you know, this structure attached to it. But you can see how this is shaping up. We've extended the pasture area back here. We're going to go back further into the hill in order to get like the sort of barn section. And then you can see I might change this a little bit, but you can see that currently we've just got from the apiary a spiral staircase that's not complete, but you know, frameworking it out, that will come up to the aviary right in the center there, and the birds will just have, you know, a ton of space to be there, and we'll have a lot more foliage and plant life decorating just the insides of this and this, and I think that's going to add a lot of life to the build. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified, and as always, I'm looking forward to your feedback in the comments below. And with that, I will catch you on the flip side. Thanks for watching, everybody.